Hello, and welcome to today's video in our ACT test preparation series. Now in our previous two videos, we covered Exam 1, or Practice Exam 1, the English test, and we divided that test into two separate videos. Likewise, as we move on into the reading test, we're also going to split this test into two videos as well. So in today's video, we will discuss the first and second passages as well as the first 20 questions of that exam. Now in the next video, we will instead talk about the third and fourth passages and the final 20 questions of the section. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, you will see this reading test is in that first practice test of your book, still from pages 152 until 210. Now, the reading test is the third test in the particular ACT exam. Now, if we're moving on and starting with passage number 1, our prose fiction passage of the day. We see here the first passage of the test is describing a woman who's receiving a letter from her daughter who's just given birth. Now, this woman is discussing this occurrence, or the birth, with her own mother instead. Now, as we're moving on, let's take a look at some of these questions. We see our first question asks us, Fran would most likely agree with which of the following statements about her relationship with Linda Rose. Now, this question is asking us to make a clear inference, as this information is not actually stated within the text itself. And we see here our proof for this inference comes from lines 1 through 6. If we read here, we see specifically mother, who wanted to keep her, always thought of her as some wild little bird, but I knew she was a homing pigeon. I knew that at some point in her flight path, sooner or later, she would make a U-turn. A sort of human boomerang. So we see here as we move on into our answer choices. In A, we see their lives are still interconnected despite long separations of time and distance. And we see specifically here, this does very much line up or align with our lines that we just read, lines 1 through 6. Now, if we take a look at our other answer choices we see in B, they have built up too much resentment toward each other to have a good relationship now. We don't actually see this mentioned in the text at all. All we see here is that instead they had no relationship after the daughter was given up. See here in C, Fran's dreams of a perfect daughter will interfere with any real relationship she might have with Linda Rose, but we don't actually get any sign of what dreams does Fran have of a perfect daughter. We never actually see this in the text itself. And we see here in D, the two of them have enough in common that it won't be difficult for them to get close. We don't actually see them having, what exactly do they have in common? Besides their looks, which we see later on in the passage. But if we're thinking here, what would Fran most likely agree with? We do see some very solid proof for A to be our answer for question number 1 instead.